This is a short training video on how to enter data for the VAP daily rounding tool. After you sign into the data portal, click on My Tools. This will take you to the My Tools page where you could search for your unit. For example, my unit's name is 121212AA, so I search for that. Here's my unit. By clicking on the name of my unit, the system will take me to the home page of this unit. To enter data into the VAP Daily Rounding tool, click on the Manage button next to it. And here's where we enter data. Notice that we already have one data entry in the system. There are two ways to enter data. One is to add new event into the system directly. The other is to upload a spreadsheet. We encourage you to use the add new event function first to get familiar with all the logic rules of data entry for this tool, and then use the upload functionality. Here is the data entry platform. Notice that the date collected automatically shows today's date. If you would like to change that, click on it and choose the corresponding date that you would like to enter data for. Suppose now we're entering data for bed number 1. And if the patient is not intubated, notice that all the fields will be blocked. Similarly, if the bed is empty, then all the fields will be blocked. You do not need to enter any data, simply click on Submit. Notice that if I do bed number 1 again and try to submit it, there's a warning sign that says an event has already been logged for this date. Entry was not saved. That is because I have already entered a data point for October the 8th, 2014, bed number 1. Now I'm entering data for bed number 2. Suppose the patient is intubated. The next field is to enter date of intubation. If you enter any date that's after today's date or after the date collected date, then the system will show you a warning. Date of intubation needs to be earlier or the same as the date collected. Now modify that to the correct date of intubation. AM shift, sub-GETT. If you enter yes, notice that the sub-GETT work field becomes available. If you enter contraindication, then this field is blocked, but the sub-GETT contraindication field becomes available. This is because you can only enter contraindication for sub-GETT when you actually have a contraindication. To figure out which contraindication you would like to enter into the system, if you don't remember these numbers, you could always click on the question mark. Location of intubation. Again, you can look at the list of locations. Suppose the patient was intubated in OR, that's 3. Since the patient was not receiving sub-GETT, this field, as we mentioned, will not be open for us. Head of the bed, if we enter yes, head of the bed contraindication field will be blocked. Oral care is a numeric field. If you enter anything that's not a number, the system will show you a warning. If you enter any number that's greater than 0, then oral care contraindication field will be blocked. If you enter 0, this field will become open. Click on the question mark to see which contraindication you would like to enter. Notice the last contraindication is actually an option for you to enter no oral care, no contraindication. Oral care with CHG is similar to oral care field. If you enter any number that's greater than 0, oral care with CHG field with contraindication field will not be open. If you enter 0, this field will become open. Suppose the patient received 2. SAT is yes, if SBT is contraindicated, you're required to enter a contraindication again. By clicking on the question mark, you could see, and scroll down, you could see the specifics of all the contraindications for SBT. Once you're done, check it one more time and submit. The green check mark means that the data point has been accepted into the system. You can continue to enter data, but if you are done, you could click on this button and notice that we have entered two new observations. One is for bet 1 and date collected is today, and the other is for bet number 2, and again, data collected is today. Once you become familiar with all the logic rules that we just showed you in the data entry platform, you could use the upload event function. To do this, the first thing is to download templates. There are two files for you to download. You could download the data template and enter data into this based on the descriptions in the event definition file. After you're done, save your data and click on Upload Data and wait for the system to process. And if you entered 415 records total, the system will show you 415 here, and wait until the system shows that the sum of these two numbers, meaning how many records have been successfully processed, plus the total number of errors encountered. Once these two numbers add up to the total number of records, then you can start examining the results. As you see, for this attempt, all 415 records were rejected. In this case, you download the error log and download the failed records, and then modify the failed records document based on the error log, and then do the upload data again.